can't make it tonight. So I'm going to bring us back a slide. Okay, hello everyone and welcome. This is our first Skype session for Chemistry 1046 and I'm Lori Mills. I'm your instructor this term. So we've got a great turnout tonight. Skype sessions are always optional. They are not mandatory, and all Skype sessions will be recorded and then posted in the news feed in D2L for anyone to watch before and after. And I see Stephanie, if you can hear me, let me know. Welcome in. There we go. So the first night is all about just getting through some of the technology hiccups like Skype, so that we can make sure that everybody can hear okay. So I'll just wait and see if Stephanie can hear okay. She's not in blue, so that might be a problem. But as always, these sessions are recorded so that if anybody does have technical difficulty, like getting bounced out of a session, you can always refer back to the recording. Also, you might have noticed that in D2L, I've posted our weekly sessions are going to be Tuesday nights from 7:30 till 8:30, and those sessions again are optional. And you don't have, they're between 45 minutes and an hour long, and you're welcome to come into those sessions at any time. It's great to be there at the beginning, but if you can't make it until halfway through, that's okay as well. And if you have to leave at a certain point, that's great too. You don't have to worry about it. It's not going to hurt my feelings if you can only jump in for a little bit. So those sessions are optional, and it's just an opportunity to meet with me, your instructor, and ask questions. I will be sometimes presenting, but most of the time it's just taking questions and going over some more of those sticky points that happen in chemistry. So that's happening Tuesday nights. If you can't make it, there will always be a recording. If you can't make it but you have a question, you can just email me your question and I'll be happy to go over it in the session. And also, if you would like a one-on-one Skype session because you'd like to go over a question and you couldn't make the Tuesday night session, then that's no problem as well. I can set those up by appointments. Now I'm not sure if Stephanie can hear me. She's still in gray. Whoops. Let's see. I'm going to move to this slide and maybe Stephanie will be able to hear us. And there's Tara. Hi Tara, let me know if you can hear me okay. Yeah, I can do something. Okay, so if everybody can just bear with me for one moment. See if we can't get Stephanie online and see if we can get Tara up and running too. How about everybody else? Am I still coming through loud and clear? Or have I lost everyone? Give me an okay sign in the chat. Oh, great. Okay, perfect. Awesome, thank you. Oh, and Stephanie's sending me back. Oh, nope. Rebecca. Too funny. Okay, let's see. I still am not hearing from Stephanie. Oh, poor Stephanie. Okay, I'll try one more thing and then we'll move on. Oh. Oh, and Melinda, I see you're typing and I can hear you typing as well. Hi.
Hey.
Hey, welcome. We're just
Sorry I'm late.
No problem. We're just getting through some technical difficulties, making sure that everybody can hear. But welcome. And I can hear you and you can hear me. So it's good.
Yeah.
That's great.
Perfect.
Oh dear, and Stephanie's just, I can message through Skype, and Stephanie's just having trouble with her Skype, so I'm just going to let her know that there's a recording. There we go. Yes, Rebecca, I am. Rebecca helped me with messaging through Skype earlier this evening, and it must be karma because it's Rebecca that's helping me with Stephanie because I'm messaging with Stephanie right now. That's awesome. Okay, there we go. So I am going to continue. Oh, this is technology. We'll get through it. Oh! And Stephanie can hear me now, but you can't see me, Stephanie. Well, you don't see me, but can you see the slides on the stage? And she's working on it. Cool. Okay, Stephanie, I'm gonna keep going, but hopefully you'll be able to see the slides soon and you can hear me, so that's great. It's a work in progress, but that's what tonight's all about. It's about just working through the technology, making sure that Skype is working okay, and as I said, I always provide a recording, and I did press record, so that's okay. So that if you do find that you get booted out of Skype or something happens, you do have the recording. So welcome everyone. Tonight, as I said, this is just going to be a quick orientation to get us all into the course. Many of you have taken online courses before, and many of you, this is your first one. So the agenda tonight, is I'm going to take your questions at the end, and also I'm going to give you opportunity as I go through some of this information. I'll stop and ask and see if there's any questions pertaining to this. I'm going to talk about the technology that we're using in chemistry, which is D2L Bright Space, and I'm also going to be talking about the expectations regarding the course and achieving the pass. And Stephanie's saying that she does see the slides. So Stephanie, you look like you're doing great now. I'm going to get you to move back to the chat window in the group because the chat window that you and I are using right now is just between you and I. So why don't you try and put something in the group chat, and I'll let you know if we can all see you there. So these Skype sessions are optional. They will be recorded, and there will be a weekly Skype session. I posted, there's Stephanie. Hi, Steph. That's great. So we're all on the same page now. Yay. So the weekly Skype session is going to be Tuesday nights from 7:30 till 8:30. They're completely optional. A recording will be provided. If that doesn't work for anyone, the recording will be there, but also you can always send me your questions before the Skype, and then I am happy to go over it in Skype even though you're not there, just so that you have it in the recording. And I'm also available by appointment for one-on-one Skype sessions. So if you have questions but you can't come to a session and you'd like to meet me one-on-one, we can set up a Skype later on in the week that fits you. But I find most students do find that between the recordings and once everyone gets comfortable with asking me questions, that I don't have a whole lot of people that ask for one-on-one Skypes, but that is totally available, and you just have to send me an email or phone or text me to set one of those up. So that's going to start next Tuesday, is going to be our first one, and I'm going to be going over Unit 1. We have 2 weeks before the Unit 1 deadline, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself that way. So let me back up a little bit. Let's start with the welcome unit. So I apologize, my slides tonight are very, very boring. They're more of notes for me so that I make sure that I hit all the points that I wanted to talk about. I did already post a welcome video in the news feed, and the news feed in D2L Brightspace, that's the name of that learning platform we're on, and some people call it D2L because that's the old name of it, and the new name is Brightspace. So when you hear me talk about D2L and Brightspace, that's the website that we go on that has our chemistry course. So on the course homepage, you'll have the calendar, which gives you all the important dates, like our deadlines and our Skype sessions and when tests are. And then the news feed is where I post all of my announcements. And I've been posting a few, and there is a video there that goes over the welcome unit and how to navigate in D2L. So I hope you found that helpful. The welcome unit is due today, and that we hope that 3 days was time for you to configure your computer, your D2L settings, so that you're getting your notifications, so that you're subscribing to discussions, that you've set up your webmail. Oh, let me grab my pointer here. Your college webmail, because that's where the college is going to be sending you important emails, and that's where if I send emails, that's where it's going to go as well. And then, oh, this shouldn't be here. Pearson My Math Lab. I meant to say Pearson My Chem. That's left over from a math thing. So My Chem Lab. There was talk about that on the news feed. So if you bought a new textbook, you have an access code to My Chem Lab, and you can access that by clicking on the green Pearson box under the calendar in the course home. And I have posted practice problems in there that will give you immediate feedback on the question. So it's just a nice way to get practice and have that immediate feedback happening, but it's only available if you bought the new textbook. You can buy the code separately if you bought a used textbook, and that's available through that green Pearson box as well. If you want to try it out, there's a great 14-day free trial, and it will save all of your progress. So even if the time runs out and you want to purchase the access code later, it will save all of your information, so you don't have to worry about doing a bunch of stuff and then losing your work. It will all be there. But those questions, those assignments, those practice things there are no grades in the course on that, and it's completely optional. If you would like to have a resource like that, but you don't want to pay for it, pay for the Pearson, Khan Academy is a great website that I highly recommend. It has a lot of chemistry practice questions and videos, and it's a great alternative if you don't want to go with the Pearson My Chem Lab. So Pearson My Chem Lab is completely optional. Khan Academy is a great free website that you can go to that is also a place that you can do some of this practice stuff as well. Any questions on that about the My Chem Lab or webmail or D2L? Grab the microphone if you have a question, or if you want, you can type it in the chat window, or if you're feeling good, give me a thumbs up or a smiley face. You can just click on the little smiley face down in the chat window and pick a smiley face. There's Ashley with a thumbs up. That's great. Or if you have a question, it's a great time.
I have a question.
Yeah, who's this?
Tara.
Hi, Tara. Go ahead.
I tried to set up in the notifications from my cell phone to get a message, and it took almost a day and a half to get a verification code I'm supposed to give.
No.
And then, yeah.
Wow.
And then when I did get it, online learning, your notification confirmation code is, and then I type it in and it says it's not valid.
No, not after a day and a half. Oh, wow,
Yeah.
Tara. Now, Did you send me an email on that?
No.
Okay.
So I might be another person that's having the same problem.
That's what I'm thinking, because I did get an email from someone else, and unfortunately I can't remember who it was, but I tried it myself and I got the confirmation code within 2 minutes myself. So it might just be that because we have a bunch of students trying to do it at the same time,
Okay.
maybe if we wait a few more days and you try it again, maybe that confirmation code will come a little bit more quickly.
Okay.
But let me know. Let's give it till Friday, and if it's still not working, then let me know, and I'm going to go to the powers that be and just let them know that students are trying to do this, and this is what's happening. Okay? Okay, thanks. Okay, I'm just checking back to see if I see lots of thumbs up, so that's perfect. Okay. So, oh, Rebecca, your microphone won't work. Just send me just type me a question if you have one. Oh, Rebecca is saying that she can't click on the Pearson My Chem Lab. If you click on that and then nothing happens, so a box doesn't come up, 9 times out of 10 it's because your security is blocking the pop-ups or blocking cookies. So depending on what type of browser you have, whether it's Safari or Chrome, you have to just go into settings and allow pop-ups. Sometimes you can see up in the browser address bar, Rebecca, that there's a shield. If you click on that, a box will come up and you just have to say allow Pearson to open up a window. Sounds good, Rebecca. Yep, he'll know what I mean. Rebecca and I have already been talking about our husbands that are more technology aware than us. I used to be really good until I met my husband, and then he was so good that I kind of let him do it all. Oh, Stephanie, and you did that yesterday, even with an unblocked. Oh, and you had to go a different route. Well, I'm glad you found a different way to do it. That's great. You should email me and tell me what you did differently, because it's always good to have a second way or another way around things. Okay. I'll try. You know what, Stephanie? I'm going to write it down that I'm going to remind you. Second way around Pearson. Okay. No problem. Can do. Okay, well, with that, I'm going to move on to marks. So how do we mark in chemistry? Where do your marks come from? That sort of a thing. And what you'll see is that I'm going to start with tests. I'm going to start at the bottom. Tests are 60% of the course. So it's a big part of your mark. D2L discussions are 5%, and we do have a discussion in Unit 1. And a very kind student pointed out to me that the Unit 1 discussion is empty at this point. So I have gone in and said, stay tuned, a discussion will be posted later on this week. So stay tuned, and I'll probably have that up for tomorrow. So discussion assignments in units are just a way for us to get together and talk about a topic, and you'll get marks for posting about what you've learned about a topic, and then having and then replying to somebody else. So it's not a long assignment. They usually take between probably 10 minutes to research and then 10 minutes to post. So you don't have to. They're not big, huge assignments that you have to take a lot of time to do, but we get a lot from them because of the variety of topics that we talk about. And then you do have 2 lab reports to write. One is in Unit 1, the mixtures lab, and I'll be talking a little bit more about that in the news feed later on this week, but I don't want to overwhelm you with information. So I'll talk about that later on in the week in the news feed, and also I'll talk about that on Tuesday night as well. And then there's also quizzes in D2L. So the D2L labs and then the quizzes are 35%. But none of the Pearson My Chemistry goes towards marks. So for some of you, you're also in my math online course, and as you know, in my math course, we use the Pearson My Math Lab program. And in math, it's mandatory to sign up with Pearson My Math Lab because we do homework and our pre-tests and our tests in My Math Lab, and the marks get linked over to D2L. But in chemistry, it's a completely an optional program, and no marks from My Chem Lab go to D2L. So I just wanted to make that really, really clear. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the tests and the pre-tests on the next slide, but before I do, I just want to explain how you get the course credit. So how do you pass chemistry? What are the expectations for the course? You have to achieve both of the following criteria. First of all, you have to have an overall mark that's 60% or higher. So the passing mark is 60%. And also, you have to achieve a mark of 60% or higher on each individual test. Now, there are, I believe, 5 units, but only 4 tests. So you have to pass each of those tests with the 60% or higher. So a scenario that has happened in the past is that we have students that do incredibly well on the discussions, the labs, and the assignments, but then don't do well on the Proctor Test. So these are the tests that students take on campus. So we have students that have an overall grade really high of 85%, but then when they go to do the Proctor tests, they fail the tests. And even though their overall marks are high, because they can't demonstrate that they are able to, that they can show that they have those outcomes on the tests, they don't pass the course, and on their transcripts they get an F. So now this can be a scary thing for students because they go, oh, so does that mean that if I crap out on one test, if I have one crappy test, does that mean I fail the course? And the answer to that is no, because I can offer possibly a second attempt on a different test that we can give you a little bit more time to study and see if you can get the outcomes after you have a discussion with me and we talk about areas of weakness. Perhaps we can do a makeup assignment if you're close to the 60. So there are things that we can do so that you can have a second chance at showing these outcomes. Now, that doesn't mean that you can get a 20% on a Proctor test and then do the rewrite and then get a 90% and have that 90%. You're stuck with whatever mark you get on that first test. But there is an opportunity to have another attempt. Now, if you fail all of your tests, so you're failing all of your tests, it's going to be hard for me to give those extra options. So you really want to do your best on the tests. I guess what I'm saying here is that if you have a test that didn't go well, it's not going to be the end of the world. So I'm going to leave you with this because this is just the first part of Chem and we're all new here. Just keep this in mind that when it comes to your test, if you end up that you're not successful on it, let me know ASAP. You can email me, you can text me, and then we can talk about how we can what we can do to make up for that. And early on in the course, it's no problem. It's later on in the course that if this is a reoccurring theme that we might have to discuss something else. So I didn't want to put the fear in you, but I just wanted to give you that so everybody knows that what's the criteria for passing and what happens when things might not go as well as we hoped, and that early in the course there are things that we can do. Now, I always get asked, why is that? Why is it that in high school we go with the overall mark, but in college there seems to be this extra criteria? And the reason for that is that in college, with this course, this is a prerequisite to university courses. This is a prerequisite to science, math, computer courses. Computer programs at the NSCC, and those programs really come to us and they say we want to have students that are able to be successful in all of these outcomes. So if we have a student that doesn't pass a test and they don't have those outcomes, then we're moving them on to the program with a hole in their skill set. And the programs that we're sending you to or that you're wanting to get into really want you to have the full complement of skills. So that's really why we have those two criteria. We want you to do well in all the tests, and we also need your mark to be 60% or above. Any questions about that? Sometimes people can think of a scenario that I haven't thought of and might have a question about that. But if you're okay, give me another smiley face or a thumbs up or find another fun emoticon. But if you have a question about that, grab the microphone or type and let me know. All good. Sorry about the heavy stuff, but it's always good that we are all on the same page regarding that. And I'll remind you of those expectations as we go through the course as well. Oh, such pretty emoticons. And I see Kevin has joined us. Kevin, you can hear me okay, I hope? And Lindsay? Nice one, Kevin. Okay. Great. Okay. What's next? Oh, yes. No worries, Lindsay. Oh, and I should say that again. Just these, again, Skypes are optional. If you can come in at the beginning, that's great, but do not worry if you're late or if you can only come for the second half of a Skype or the last 10 minutes. That's a-okay. These are super open, so you don't have to worry about that sort of a thing. And they're always recorded, so you can always go back and watch the video and see what you've missed. One of the things that I want to make sure that everybody understands is the unit structure and the difference between a quiz and a test. So I have this screen capture up of our Unit 1 in D2L, and I'm just going to grab my pointer here for a second. Whoops, go back. Oh, that's it, pointer. Oh, it doesn't want to use my pointer. Just a sec. My technical difficulties now. There we go. Okay, so this is just a screen capture, so it's not a live shot of our chemistry course in D2L, but you can see here that I've highlighted my Unit 1 Intro to Chemistry, and this is what you see in Unit 1 or part of it. I'd have to scroll down to go all the way down, but there's that discussion that I was talking about where the topic hasn't been listed yet, but it will be by the end of the week, and you can start posting to that. And to post to a discussion, you just click on the blue title and it will open up the discussion window. Same for Dropboxes. Dropbox is just a name, it's the name we give to where you're going to submit an assignment. So Separating Mixtures Lab, if you click on that, it's going to give you the description for it, and you're going to be submitting a lab report that you type up in a Word program. You'd save that file and then you would upload it to this Dropbox. But the quiz for this unit is right here. So you can see that the icon has a question mark on it. Anytime you see this icon with a question mark, that means you're either dealing with a quiz or a test. If the title does not have test in it, then it's a quiz. So this intro assignment here in Unit 1 is a quiz. We actually don't have a test in Unit 1, so you don't have to be worried about doing a test right off the bat. There's just this quiz. And then in Unit 2, I'm just going to move so you can see the difference. Here I'm now in Unit 2, Atoms and Compounds. here are two icons with that question mark. This one, naming assignment, but this one says test. So this is the quiz and this is the test. I didn't create the course, otherwise I would go in and rename this naming quiz and naming test, but I don't have power over that, so I can't do that. So just so you know, if look out for these question mark icons. If it says test, then it's a test. If it doesn't say test, then it's a quiz. And this is the difference. A quiz is only a test is worth that, I think it's 50%. Let me go back to that. Tests are worth 60%, but those quizzes are rolled up into the labs. So they are worth, I would say, probably around 5% each. And the difference between a quiz and a test is that quizzes, there are no time limits on it, so you can go into the quiz and then come out of the quiz, and as long as you don't hit submit, that quiz, you can go back to the quiz. Tests, they have a 2-hour time limit, and you have to go start to finish, and you can't leave the test. If you leave the test, then you've submitted the test, and that's it. So quizzes are much more open-ended. They're not worth anywhere near what tests are worth. You can go in and out of the quiz, but tests, they're more formal. You have to write it within the 2-hour time limit, and some of them are proctored, which means that you have to go into campus testing center in order to write it. And how you know whether it's a proctored test or not is that the proctoring will be in the name, and if you go in the welcome unit under the schedule, you will see, do I have that up? There we go. This is the schedule from the welcome unit, and you can see that proctored tests are labeled. So the first proctored test isn't until November the 3rd, Unit 3. Any questions about the quizzes versus the tests versus proctored tests? This is probably a good time to take those questions. I see Manal is writing, so she has a question. Feel free to grab the microphone if you wish as well. Anybody? I am going to be sending a link so you can see when the campus testing center hours for all the campuses across the province. If you are out of province, you will need to request an external proctor. So send me an email letting me know that you are out of province, and I can let you know the process of getting an external proctor. If you are in the province, you can choose any of the campuses across the province. It doesn't have to be the one nearest to you. So for instance, students that are in the metro region, you have NSCC Ivany, NSCC Akerley, NSCC IT. You can go to any one of those. So I'm going to send out a link that has those testing center hours and where you can, and there's also a request form there that you can submit for that. So I see I have some questions. Oh, that's great, Nancy. I'm glad you could come in. And Rebecca. And yes, Rebecca, that's a great question. Calculators are permitted. So the take-home tests, you have your notes, you have your textbook, you have a calculator. For proctor tests, you are allowed a calculator, you are allowed scrap paper, and you are allowed your textbook. Oh, great, Manal. I read your mind, I guess. No problem, Rebecca. So again, I'll be posting that proctoring test information in the news feed later on in the week. Again, I just didn't want to overwhelm everybody. There's so much information at the very beginning, but I promise you within 3 weeks, you'll all be experts in online courses. It just, after a while, it just all seems like second nature, I promise. There's just a lot of information at the start. Okay, I'm just checking back with my slides to make sure that I haven't missed anything, and keep those questions coming. Let me make sure that I didn't miss any. Okay, all good. Yes, Tara, you're allowed to take the chem book in with you to the proctor test. At least the last time I looked. Let's just see if there's anything different. Sometimes they change things on me, and then I'm the last one to know. Let's just see. Nope, so far, so, oh, preview, let's see. Nope, by the looks of it, it's still going that way. I'm just going to check again. That was Unit 2. So I just want to be absolutely sure that it is an open book test. Oh. One more second. I'm almost there. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so in Unit 3, Test Balancing Chemical Equations, the assessment will be open book. Calculators are permitted, and they have the time limit here as 3 hours. So there you go. And that would be the same for your Proctor test as well. So I'm going to bring me back to the Skype here. Kevin, is the textbook mandatory, and where can you buy it? The textbook... I always hate to say mandatory. A new textbook is not mandatory. You can get edition 5. We're right now on edition 6, but edition 5 will work very well. And it's important to have. It'd be hard to really do this course without having the textbook, since we do point everybody towards the readings in the textbook. That's where you're going to get all of the information. I do provide videos just to go over the info, but it is a textbook-based course, Kevin. So I have to say that in order to do well in the course, I do think you need to have the textbook. It doesn't have to be the new textbook. It can be a used version, and sometimes you can find those on Kijiji, and sometimes, depending on what campus, sometimes they have used textbooks. But I would say yes, you would. A textbook is needed for the course. No, Ashley, I just checked to make double sure, but for chemistry, the Proctor tests are open book. Oh, and thanks, Manel and Kevin. The book is available at all of your campus bookstores, and it's also available through. You can order one online as well. I saw that the other day. So you can, Kevin, if you want, you can send me an email if you'd like to know where you can buy it online, like buy a new version, but like online, so you don't have to go into a campus. And Tara, yes, there's a periodic table in the very front cover of the chemistry book, so you'll always have that to refer to. And Rebecca's asking if they're only available certain hours. Different campus centers are open at different hours, so if you go to I'll send everybody the link. I'll post it on the news feed, and that will show you all of the centers' contact hours so that you can see which ones line up for you. And Rebecca's also saying Amazon's a good place to find the book. Oh, Tara, I know what you mean about not Waterfront. Waterfront isn't selling the textbooks because they're doing a pilot program, and unfortunately they forgot that there are going to be online students that want the book. So there was a mistake made at the Waterfront, or the new Ivany, it's now called the Ivany campus, where they didn't order the hardcover textbooks because they are using e-textbooks. So it was an unfortunate mix-up there. But luckily, Akerley campus and IT campus should have them. Okay. Whoop. So lots of textbook questions there. Kevin, does that answer your question? Okay, perfect. And also you can have a look at that textbook by, again, that My Chem Lab. It has an e-textbook. Our e-textbook is connected, and if you want to just have a look at the textbook, you can join free for 14 days. They don't ask for any type of credit card or anything, so they're not going to ask you for any financial information. You just say, yes, I'd like the 14-day trial, and you'll have 14 days of access to My Chem Lab, including the e-textbook, and you can have a look at it through that way. And if you decide to go the e-textbook route, in other words, not buy the hardcover textbook and just use My Chem Lab and use the e-textbook in that, I believe there is a printing option, so where you can print off just the pages that you want if you wanted to go that route. And I believe it's $90 for that access code. So it's much less expensive than buying a new textbook. And but the downside is that it is an e-textbook and it's only available when you are online. So you can't turn on your computer and have the textbook offline. You have to connect to your Wi-Fi in order to do the textbook, but I believe there's a printing option. So that's just another route that you could go to save a bit of money if you're okay with e-textbooks. I'm old school and I need a paper copy, so I prefer using a hard cover textbook, but I have to say, if I'm going to save some money, I would use the e-textbook if I had to. Okay, so that's the textbook. Oh, did I go ahead by accident? Nope, there's the schedule. So the schedule in the welcome unit, and please keep on adding your questions. Don't let me stop you. I'm going to go back to the chat and and just see if I've missed anything. But I just wanted to go back to the schedule that I have up on the screenshot that I have on the slide. You can find this in the welcome unit under the schedule, and it gives you the deadlines. You can do any of the assignments and submit them before the deadline, but everything should be submitted by the deadline. So what I'm saying is that you don't have to book your test or write your test on the deadline. You can do it the day before, the week before. You have a lot of flexibility in terms of when you do your assignments. Just make sure that everything is submitted by midnight on the day of the deadline. In terms of the deadline, we're very strict on that. If you pass something in late, it means a mark of 0. But if you let me know 24 hours in advance of the deadline that you need more time, I can give it to you. We have built into the schedule that students, if they need an extension from time to time, that they can have 1 or 2 days. We don't go past that because there's so much material to cover that if we gave 7 days of an extension, you're not going to be able to finish the course. And we do have December the 14th as a hard stop, so we can't extend past December the 14th. But built into each of these deadlines is a little bit of leeway. So if you're finding that you're having a particularly hard week, or perhaps you didn't do well on a quiz and you need to brush up a little bit more before your test, just let me know 24 hours before, and I'm happy to give out an extension and not give a 0. So in my 7 years of teaching, I have only had to give out a few 0s because I think students are happy that as long as they ask for an extension, you'll get it. Now, try not to make a habit of doing that. Procrastination causes a lot of stress for everybody, but again, I know that everybody is an adult here and we all have very, very busy lives, so extensions are definitely possible that way. Okay, so from there, so once we're done with the welcome unit gets us set up, introduces everybody to everyone, and we get our technology set up. Then we move on to Unit 1. Oh, I didn't realize we're already at 9:17. So please feel free that if you can't stay around, feel free to go, but I'm almost done. I'm just going to go over what to expect for Unit 1. So how we approach the units is that every unit starts with a unit study guide, and I highly recommend that you read that first in D2L. So every unit starts out with the unit study guide. Have a look at that because that's going to tell you about the unit. Check the schedule and make note of deadlines for assignments so that you don't miss those deadlines. Always start with the textbook, taking one section of a time and creating notes, and then refer to the video resources as needed. So I'm going to be posting videos I already have for Unit 1 in the news feed, so you can find those in the news feed. And every unit I'll be posting the videos, and those are really like the classroom lectures that you would get if you were in a classroom. And then our Skype session is going to be more of answering questions and going over the sticky parts. So have a look for those video resources in every unit I'll be posting in the news feed. If every unit has a unit quiz, so write the quiz, see how you do, and then reflect on the areas that you need extra study. Reach out to me if you have questions, and then you write your unit test. Now, as I said, our first unit doesn't have a unit test. It just has the quiz, so we're sort of easing you into chemistry. But Unit 2 does have your first test, and it's a take-it-home test. So again, it's not the Proctor test. It's a take-it-home test, but that's not until Unit 2. Quizzes, as I said, no time limit. You can open and close as you like, just don't submit until you're finished. And those are open book. And your Proctor tests, allowed a calculator, you're allowed scrap paper, and your textbook is also allowed as well. And I believe, yep, this is my last slide, so I'm not going to keep you too much longer, and I'm going to open the floor to questions. But here's my keys to success in Chem 1046. Make sure you schedule your time. 1 hour block spread out during the week is much better than binge studying. Studies have showed that when you binge study, there's less retention and there's lack of connection between the skills that you're learning. So it's best to take your study time and build it into your week, doing a little bit at a time. You're going to find that when you allow your brain to sleep on things, you get better connections that way. And scaffolding your study so that you're not trying to do big topics all at once or several topics all at once. Try and keep it to one topic and then moving on to the next one with breaks in between. Make sure you create your study notes using a variety of resources, so your textbooks, videos, My Chem Lab or Khan Academy. There are lots of Google resources, online resources that you can use as well. So you can search those out. And I'm here to answer your questions as well. So reach out when you have questions. Use the pre-test to reflect on areas needing more study. So try not to do the pre-test right before your test. So try and give them a couple of days in between so that you can see how you did on the pre-test. And then if you have questions afterwards, you can reach out to me and we can polish up or brush up on those skills that you didn't quite get on the pre-test so that you get them on the test. And ways that you can reach out, definitely post it in the Q&A in the welcome unit, or send me an email. You can also text me for my cell, or you can phone me. If you could do that before 10 p.m. I'm old and I need my sleep. So anytime before 10 p.m. and anytime after 9 a.m. Is wonderful. And that's it, folks. If you, for what I wanted to give you, and now I'm going to open the floor. I see that there are questions coming in through the chat, so that's wonderful. And if you can stick around, that's great. And if not, thanks everybody for coming. Very much. And thank you for watching, anybody that's watching the video instead. And I see a question. I'm going to go to that right now. Ooh. You guys have been talking a lot. How fast do you get your marks from the tests? Tara, the tests are marked right away by the D2L. So you write your tests in D2L, you'll know your mark right away, so that if you did great, that's awesome. You can let me know. Say, hey, Laura, I just got 90% on my test. Woohoo! And then if you don't do well on the test, let me know. And especially if you fail the test, let me know. And we'll talk about that. So always let me know these things, because the system doesn't actually flag and let me know how you do. I have to go in and look at that. You'll find that it will tell you what you got wrong, but it won't tell you where you went wrong. So feel free to email me and say, can you let me know where I went wrong with question 8 on the test, and I'll be happy to get back to you on that. But they do get marked immediately by the computer. So if you find that you get marked and you wonder, that seems wrong, again, that's what I'm here for. The computer's a robot. I'm not. I can override the robot. That's the long answer to that question. Oh, great. I'm glad that everybody is finding that that was good information. I'm sorry that it was so quick and that I talked so much. Our regular Skype sessions will be more you-focused rather than me. Tonight was just more of getting some of that information that may not have been hidden in all the information that you've been reading in the welcome unit. So I'm going to stay in session for anybody that wants to stay and have questions. But for everyone else, if that's all you need, all you have to do is click on the X to log out. Thank you for coming tonight. Thanks to those that are watching. And I'm going to stay in for another 10-15 minutes to make sure that all of your questions are answered. Have a good night, everyone. And feel free to grab the microphone or type in a question, and I'll just go through and answer them. And I see Ashley's writing, it's showing there's a WMIS section and OH section along with this chem course. Oh, Ashley. Oh, yes. So Ashley, when you look into your course list, if you see that WMIS and that OH and S course, which I don't know, that's not, those aren't ones that I teach, it means that your program needs you to have those courses. I think that each one is an hour in length. I know that I have to take a WMIS course. It's completely online. I think you can complete it in an hour, and then there's like an easy test that you write, and you need to complete those 2 courses for your program. Not everybody has them. If you haven't declared a program, then you won't see those WMIS and OH and S courses, but if you have declared a program, then those are mandatory courses, and I believe that they're short as well. And Rebecca's saying that that needs to be done by September the 30th. So if you just click on those, that actually each one of those courses, it should give you a description of what you need for those. Lindsay, you're saying that you don't have anything showing for WMIS or OHS. You need to find out if you need those courses for your program, and if you do, then you just have to contact Online Learning, and they'll make sure that you connect up. Now, if you just joined the course yesterday, it can take, or today, it can take 24 hours for those courses to come up, and I believe Online told me that if you don't see them by Friday, so I guess that they're still working on getting people connected to them. If you don't see them by Friday, so I would say if Friday morning you wake up and you don't have those courses in your course list, to let Online Learning know, and they will, and there's a contact number for Online Learning when you go into D2L, that first page that you see that isn't any course, it's just an information page, there's a support phone number for Online Learning. Just give them a call and they'll make sure that those courses are set up for you. But that's only if you're declaring a program. If chemistry is the only online course you're taking and you're not taking any other courses and you're not in a program, then you won't need to take those WMIS and OHS courses. Ashley, if you mean my chemistry tests, I will put that link in the news feed, but if you go into D2L under I'm going to go into D2L. In D2L, in our course, along the top blue tab, there's a tab called NSCC Services, and you'll see lots of different services there, like your webmail, Office 365. There is a hyperlink to testing and proctoring contacts, and in that link, you'll get to the testing center locations and their contact information, and also that request form for an appointment. But I'm going to give you the exact link in the news feed, so that when you're ready, you can just click on it from the news feed when you're ready for it. So I'll post that link along with the recording link once everything is processed tonight, so that everybody will have it. Oh, poor Nancy has to get up at 4. And there's some, Rebecca has to get up at 5. I'm just reading through the text now. Oh, and Rebecca's just commenting on the WMIS. Takes 4 hours of study and 2 hours for the test. Ooh, okay. So that's something that I was not familiar with. The WMIS and the OHS courses are part of different programs at the college, and they've now gone online. So these are new to me courses that I don't teach, so I'm learning as well. Tara, don't worry, Tara. It's also in the instructions for the Proctor test, right at the top, that a book is allowed. So you can just point to that instruction. But the proctors all know we've had open books in chemistry for a long time, so no one's going to stop you if you bring in your book. Now, if your book is full of study notes, in terms of like separate, like loose pages, they'll get you to take those out. So I highly recommend that if you're going to have study notes, that you write them directly on your textbook. No one's going to stop you if you've written in your textbook. Okay, so I've come to the end of the text, but I'm still taking questions. So does anybody have any other questions? Feel free to grab the microphone, and if you have a question but you're too nervous to ask, just send me an email this evening and I'll get back to you on that question. No worries. And I think I will stop the recording. It's Tara's bed. It's almost my bedtime too.